What's up, guys, and welcome back to Road to Crypto Millionaire. Today we're going to be going over some resources to learn technical analysis and why that should be important to you if you're still in the market. So as of today, we don't really have a lot of volatility in the market. Bitcoin just doing its thing at 6,400. We see Ripple here at 50 cents, very close to flipping Ethereum again. So that's something I'm keeping my eye on. But capitalizing on moves when they happen, such as this 8% move today, is ideally why I think that learning trading in the market is extremely valuable, and especially in a volatile market like cryptocurrency, it really is a truly valuable opportunity to get in a market like this early at such low prices relative to their all-time high, and have the potential for insane growth out of some of these cryptocurrencies over the long term. So obviously fundamental analysis plays a big part in that. However, if you're in the market, you might as well learn to trade, and there's a couple of reasons that I believe that. First of all, it'll help you with your entries and exits. So again, that's going to be why I'm going over some of these resources, and also it can help you with your ROI and creating active income while you're already in the market. So I want to use NEO as an example of this. During the last bull run, my ROI from when I entered in May 2017 until January was about 40x. So obviously that's an insane return no matter what. Like, I'm not downplaying that whatsoever. However, my goal is to do better than that, and that's where I get Road to Crypto Millionaire from. Is I want to outperform how I did during the last bull run. If the bull market comes back and Bitcoin goes to 50,000, my goal is to do better than 40x, and this is how I plan to do it. So if we take a look at NEO back in June, let's say, of 2017, we see it went from about $1 to $13 or $8 here on CoinMarketCap, all the way back down to about $5, where it consolidated $5 to $7, and then we see this next big ramp up to about $50. And so obviously a fundamental analysis could have played a large role in this, just seeing that NEO was gaining momentum, it was gaining community contributors. But if you take a look at these charts, it's just, you see this clear accumulation here that, okay, wait, no, I'm in the wrong spot. We see this clear accumulation from about $5 to $7 during the summer of 2017, where it just popped off and went 10x out over the span of like a couple days even. So that's really why it's important to capitalize on these movements, because you see right after it that the price just got cut in half. And I think that over the long term, trading stuff like this, you might be in NEO for the long term, but if something goes 10x, it's time to take profits on that. And that's something that I understood and was doing last bull run. However, I wasn't using technical analysis whatsoever. I was maybe looking at charts from other people, but it's really way more valuable to know yourself when to enter and exit some of these coins. So that's how I think I'm going to be able to increase my ROI over the next bull run. This had no Bitcoin catalyst whatsoever. So like, obviously we had Bitcoin going to 20,000 here, and that's why NEO went from $26 all the way up to $200. This was Bitcoin. But back here, when it went from $5 to $50, this was in a sideways market for Bitcoin. So the fact that you were able to get a 10x return as Bitcoin was going sideways is how I think you're going to be able to do extremely well in the next bull run, is to not only outperform Bitcoin, but have these types of trades and be able to identify them using both fundamental and technical analysis. So getting into some of the resources, CryptoCred is probably my number one I would say for learning, you can see here he's got a lot of technical analysis indicators. He explains them very, very well. Trend lines, RSI, Fibonacci, risk management, support and resistance, and candlestick charts. These are probably the top ones I can recommend. Watching all of these will give you a very good fundamental understanding of technical analysis and how it works. And obviously, it's up to you how deep you want to go. But there's just so many great resources out there. There's another one, Cotton Candy TA. I just recently discovered him. I've been watching several of these videos, and they're all very, very great resources for beginners. This is especially for beginners, just learning the fundamentals, a couple key principles that'll work in any market. And that's what's great about this, is that a lot of these concepts will work in any market, whether it's Forex, penny stocks itself, or crypto. It'll work in all of those. So you're not just learning a skill that if crypto dies tomorrow, that you're just going to have a bunch of useless skills. Like, you can go out and use these skills and compound your knowledge on this, and even if you want to become a professional trader. So Karash AK, I hope I'm saying that right, on Twitter, got about 10,000 followers, and very well respected guy. Got several videos here about why traders fail, some introduction to Elliott wave analysis, which is more of the core of his strategy, and as well as Trader Dante. This is more of a advanced, if you've been trading and you're making beginner mistakes, and experiencing, just if you're only like a couple months in but you've been trading, I'd recommend Trader Dante, because he goes over a lot of the beginner mistakes that you might be making. He's been in the markets for 17 years. It took him 7 years to get profitable, so obviously he's learned quite a bit along his path, and just incredibly successful trader that so many people look up to. That I recommend listening to these three: the Blueprint for Trading Success, Stop Moaning and Start Improving, Part 1 and Part 2. These are incredibly valuable resources to new traders. I was sitting there taking notes on the entire thing just because it was just that valuable, and listening to his 17 years of trading experience, listening to him talk about him sitting with traders making upwards of $250,000 a day. Just you get some really nice perspective and lessons that he's learned along the way. So definitely recommend him if you've been trading for a little bit longer, but definitely learn the fundamentals first before you hop into that. And that's basically my rant about trading. I could go on, but I think that I'm kind of beating a dead horse. If we combine my fundamental analysis with technicals, I think that I can outperform that 40x, which is my personal goal for the next bull run. And I hope that you guys are here for the ride with me, and obviously I'll be giving a lot of good picks along the way. Speaking about that, I think that VeChain deserves some recognition in this episode, considering that today is the China International Import Expo with VeChain and DNVGL. Their booth is mapped out here. I'd recommend reading this thread here by my friend Rick. Very great VeChain supporter, does some very informative threads about it. He did a summary on the VeChain white paper that I'd recommend looking into, but he just has so many great insights to the direction of VeChain, as well as Waza Pepe on Twitter. I'll link him as well. But the reason I want to talk about VeChain is because they are making incredible strides in China, as well as supply chain as a whole. Because if we take a look at over the past couple days, I'm going to start with this one. H&M is the biggest news that has come out over the past couple days. H&M, this was posted in their Facebook. If we take a look here, Crypto Ed. Actually, I'm not going to be able to pull it up because it's probably pretty far down on this thread. Anyways, This was a group member of his that was at an H&M store and actually discovered that VeChain is being used in one of their brands, and that is Arquette. And you can see here that they are using the VeChain app to scan this beanie and identify exactly where it came from, all of the supply chain management that was included in it, where it came from, again, exactly that it's verifiable, and that is just an extremely useful thing to know for many industries. You know, we saw VeChain working with a shoe company to verify that their designer shoes were legit, as well as designer bags with Louis Vuitton. It's crazy that people don't realize the scope of VeChain yet. You can see here H&M verifying this feature, as well as a couple executives of VeChain liking these tweets. So nothing's official yet. However, this is about as official as you can get with in terms of a partnership, or whether even it's a partnership, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that you're seeing VeChain get adopted, and it's being used in H&M, again, one of the biggest brands that I can think of. And it's just, you know, we see that, and then you see what's going on in China with all of these carbon credits and B credits with the Chinese national initiative to create a greener ecosystem. VeChain is the backbone of all of this. You can see here, by riding a bike to work, you're going to be earning B credits. B credits are in association with Brightcode. If you guys don't understand what I'm talking about with some of these company names, don't worry about it. I'll explain exactly what it is. Basically, it's a national initiative, again, by China. The president of China was at this conference, and they are working with DNVGL, and they are working on quality assurance within products. So Bright Foods is one of the biggest food manufacturing companies in the world, or in China especially. So they're going to be working with VeChain to identify exactly where all of their products came from, and consumers are going to be earning B credits for using more eco-friendly products, and they're going to be able to spend these B credits you know, anywhere they want to, really, that is accepting of them. And since this is a national initiative, this is going to be accepted at many state-owned and state-backed companies. You can see here PICC is the largest or second largest insurance company in China. That's the People's Insurance Company of China. Just an insanely large company that is going to be working with VeChain and accepting these B credits, and also working very closely with them to create this ecosystem where you can spend this. It's basically another currency within China. You can see here again with the bikes, you know, you can see the carbon credits again used in the VeChain Thor wallet here, as well as the news that came out with Cyprus, that there's Invest Cyprus, which is the state-backed investing. It's basically a technology investment from Cyprus. They're signing an MOU with VeChain. This is just a national initiative in the field of fintech to be using blockchain within their government and within their nation. So just so many national initiatives going on with VeChain, not only with China, with Cyprus, with the Bahamas, that's been hinted at as well. Just so much going on that it's crazy to see how undervalued, in my opinion, this coin is. You can see here with the Liquor blockchain alliance, that is another huge use case. That is with some of the top wine importers of China that are going to be using VeChain to verify bottles on the blockchain. It's just insane, all of the stuff that's coming out for this, and it's getting absolutely no recognition in the terms of price. But I think that once people start to realize this, the fact that it's at rank number 20, I think is criminally undervalued. We've seen price manipulation in this in the past, so it would not surprise me at all that once VeChain starts to go up and starts to form an uptrend, it's just going to start going parabolic, in my opinion. And we could really start to see some explosive growth. We've seen it in the past in December of 2017, January of 2017 actually. VeChain was going parabolic as Bitcoin was crashing. So just keep an eye on this. There's so much going on with VeChain. Do not take these news events lightly, because many of these partnerships are with national governments, are with state-backed companies of China. These carbon credits are going to be like a second currency in China. Just do not sleep on this stuff, because everyone talks about how they want to see crypto mass adoption, but then they ignore stuff like this. So it's pretty clear to me that VeChain is going to be a winner in the space. It's just going to be how long it takes for some people to realize, and for transactions to really start picking up. And if you are interested in transactions, we can go onto VForge. This is their block explorer. You can actively track exactly how many transactions are going on the network. We just had an all-time high number of clauses this past day, and we're seeing this really start to pick up. So in my opinion, this is the best long-term hold you could have besides Bitcoin, and I'm really excited to see what they do in the future. So I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Finally, I just want to talk about NASDAQ real quick. I talked about this on my Telegram. The link is in the description if you guys are interested in joining. Backed, I was talking about this. I'll probably just read it's pretty much off the script, but Backed is just such a big catalyst that, first of all, with Microsoft and Starbucks, those two partnerships are so big that, you know, Starbucks, the mobile payments app, is the largest in the world. They're bigger than Google and Apple Pay. So if that's not saying much, that Starbucks is going to be accepting Bitcoin, then I don't know what will convince you of that. And second of all, NASDAQ is seeing Backed as competition in crypto. So NASDAQ is actually working on the first crypto index, which is strategically timed with Backed rollout. We can see here a year-end rollout would give us the ability to test and retest a crypto concept as we develop a larger construct for listing individual coins. Stay tuned, there's a lot to come from us. So this, and you can also see here a late 2018 rollout that coincides with Backed stated timing is of the utmost importance from a competitive standpoint. So with NASDAQ looking at listing cryptocurrencies, it's going to start creating competition for these institutions to get into crypto, because obviously with the interest of it, they can obviously take quite a bit of money by being able to list these coins. And also that's why Backed is such a big deal, that a lot of these institutions are now pressured to be listing cryptocurrencies when there's real demand for it now. And that's also really important, because you better believe that they're going to be marketing to institutional investors, getting institutional investors into cryptocurrency, as well as things like Robinhood and Coinbase advertising on the retail side. So this adds so much more legitimacy to the space, having NASDAQ there to get some of that money in from people that are potentially skeptical, that don't know a lot about cryptocurrency. It adds a lot of legitimacy to the space to see cryptocurrencies on the NASDAQ, and Backed is exactly the catalyst behind all of this, as well as a potential ETF rollout. If you know, we see that the SEC has been saying that February is the last date for a potential ETF decision. However, that could potentially roll out sooner if stuff like this happens. So we see that Backed has the December 12th date. That's about a month away. So there's going to be big moves in the market regarding NASDAQ and Backed over the next big news, at least, coming out within the market regarding these two things. And all it would take is one of these, you know, NASDAQ or another big partnership to really get us going, and I think that would start the next bull run, in my opinion. That could really be a big catalyst, because that is exactly what we would need. Is NASDAQ lists a cryptocurrency. I think that an ETF would follow very closely. So that's what I'm watching going into the next month or so. Definitely keep an eye on this stuff. Definitely keep an eye on VeChain, and keep grinding, learning to trade, guys. This is going to be incredibly valuable in the future, and if you invest in yourself now, you're really going to be able to reap the rewards in the future. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know in the comments what you'd like me to cover in the next video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.